So this is how I'm getting my straight line down my 2 lengths of PVC. I clamped them together just in 3 places, so it creates mostly straight line. And then I'm just taking this is a colored pencil, but you could do a Sharpie with it too. And I'm just drawing a line down the pipe. So that I can see it. And that's going to give you pretty much a pretty good straight line down the pipe that I can then use to guide it in the drill press. This is such janky filming, but I think you get the idea. So you can see I did it on the other side already, but there's my center point of the pipe, and then down each side. So now I have it's a fairly straight line down the pipe. But once you start drilling, you can kind of use your eyeball on it. So then I've got here my drill press with my knocked off pins in that jig that I 3D printed. And I've just got an extra long board just to add some stability when I put the pipe in. And there's that 4 to 20 millimeter step bit that I've got in there. And right now I've got it set so it drives down, and we'll put a 16 millimeter hole in the end, or in the one side of the pipe. So I've already drilled one, and you can see the holes line up pretty well down the length of it. Worked out pretty good. So then I'll just run this pipe through. And I'm starting in the middle just because I wanted to kind of get a good idea of how many holes I could do on either side, so it keeps them pretty evenly spaced out. And you can see here I've got 3 marks, and these are all I'm doing these at 1.5 inches. You could obviously do that at 2 inches if you wanted, or whatever spacing you want. So this first mark is a 1/2 inch or 1.5 inches from the drill bit. So then I can just go through and mark out each one. And it goes pretty quick. So I'm gonna put it on a tripod and I'll show you. My janky little drill press setup. I'll give you a little better view. So I'm just staying pretty much on the line. Kind of eyeballing this as I go across, trying to keep all the holes vertical. Straight up as possible. This is a 60-inch pipe going on a window that's 64 inches. So with the elbows, I get about 62, which puts it right in the middle of my board that goes around my windows. 37 holes per piece, a little bit at each end. So that's pretty much how I'm doing it. And then I'll come back and do the other side, change the bit. So it only goes down to the 12 millimeter hole. And you can see I've got the holes on the other side that I'll use as the guide as I run that through. And seem to work pretty good. So there's the 4 sides, and took me about 15, maybe 20 minutes to do the first set of holes on all of them. So all in all, it went pretty quick, lines up pretty well. There's a little bit of variation, you can see. Using the pins just didn't work for me, and I hated how it was causing it to rotate and roll, and just eyeballing it seems to work just as good using the line versus just using the pins, which was really starting to make me upset and angry trying to deal with those pins that didn't quite fit and didn't work right. So there's side 1. I'll go ahead and do side 2. So now I've got it pre-marked on my press where I needed to change my stop to. So I'll change my stop to that location. Tighten it back down. Make sure it goes to where it's supposed to go. Grab the first pipe. And I'm wearing a glove to do this because those little things that come flying off there when you're drilling through, they kind of hurt a little bit. So drill the second hole through down to the 12 millimeter mark. And I had a pixel laying around here, and I don't know what I did with it. So here's that test pixel. So you can push it in, make sure it pops out and sticks in place. So my hole's not too deep, not too shallow, it good and firm in there. So got enough room on the other side. So now I'll drill all these out. You can see holes drilled all the way through all of them. Probably took me about an hour for those 4, maybe 45 minutes. Creates a mess of shavings though, and they do not like to be swept up. They'll stick to your broom like something else. So there you go, that's how I'm making this window. I'm gonna put it together, clean it up, and try and mount it, and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is it mounted, using the 3D printed mounts. Well, I'm pretty good. Kind of hard to see from this angle with the camera. Use the wide angle. So, put 3 mounts at top, 2 on the bottom, and it seems pretty secure on there. I don't know. Once I get some lights, we'll see. I might have to add another one right here just for support there. But 3 at the top made it seem pretty secure. So it pops off pretty easy. So when season's over, off it comes and it'll be good.